5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged, and investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.
FBI, open up! Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Jihad Muhaddin from Chronicles podcast. Hey,
what's happening?
How are you, man?
Oh man, you know, same old. I can't call it. Another day free is a blessing.
Definitely. This is how I feel too. Every day that I'm able to elevate and do things and, you know, progress is a great day.
Yeah, don't doubt.
So how you been, man? How's the show going? How's things going for you?
You know, I'm taking it one day at a time. I got more active with my program and my platform. I have kind of slacked up. I've been more on my Instagram platform than I've been on my YouTube platform. But I had said at the new year that I was going to start getting back on my YouTube platform more strong. So what I got going on there is I got an audio book that I'm narrating myself of my life story called The Love of the Dunya. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I'm getting ready to kick my platform off with. But other than that, man, I've just been chilling, man, taking it easy, man. Just trying to enjoy this freedom. I got 5 months left to get off this paper. So, you know, I'm just chilling out.
I know, it seems like forever, don't it?
Yeah, I had 8 years. Normally the feds let you do half and you can get off. Like I would have did 4 clean and got off. I've been clean 7.5 years. They just ain't let me off. I was on a high profile case. So, you know, I guess they got their little foot on my neck. They ain't strict, but they ain't let me off either. You know what I'm saying? So 5 more months. They don't owe me nothing. The judge said 8 years. I would have loved to have got off in 4, but it is what it is.
So after that, you don't have anything.
I'm done.
Wow, it's gonna feel good.
Yeah, I can't wait so we can travel. My wife a traveler, so I can't wait to move around with her. She's been going all these places, Italy, Greece, all this stuff all by herself, man. So it's like I can't wait for to get off this so I can move around with her.
Are you gonna be able to get a passport?
I got my passport already. I was able to get my passport while I was on paper because my PO, I had 3 different POs in Atlanta. They switched me around, but one of them that I had knew that my wife was a traveler. She let me go to the Virgin Islands, which I didn't need no passport for it. But my wife wanted to go to Dubai. And when I put in the go, she agreed. She said, go ahead, go get your passport. I'll approve the trip. Like I said, they ain't had a foot on my neck. They just ain't let me off early. You know, they let me do pretty much what I want to do. I've been out here 7.5 years doing the right thing.
Yeah, so for the people that don't know, do you want to tell them what you were in prison for, how long did you get, and how long you've been out for?
So what happened is I had moved down to Atlanta after I had came home from a state prison bid. I had did 4 years in the state. I had got caught with a Mac 11, three keys of cocaine and 120,000 in cash in the car. I had got a 12-year sentence in my state. I had went in, I did the 4. I moved to Atlanta after I was done. When I was down here, I was doing a meat company with my father. He had some trucks on the back of freezers, doing door-to-door sales. And I just happened to be out one day and I ran into my co-defendant who was the leader of the case. I ran into him, man. He said, man, I think we got something in common, man. He gave me his number. I never called him. I ended up giving him a call one day out the blue. He wanted to sit down and have lunch. Come find out he was a real big Heron dealer, you know what I'm saying, from about Senegal, Africa. So, you know, I didn't know nothing about the Heron because in my city, the Hispanics sell the Heron, you know what I'm saying? So, but I happen to come from the number blocks, you know what I'm saying, out East Camden, New Jersey is where I'm from. And it happens to be mixed, Black and Spanish. So one of my good buddies, man, you know, not to say his name or nothing like that, I asked, you know, I had, after sitting down with the head of the case, and he had told me what he had, told me what it could take, and all that, because Heron is a little different from coca, crack, whatever they call it. It's not really crack, but coca. But, you know, it's different. You know what I mean? You got to cut it, you know what I mean? Or people going to die from it. So, you know, after getting all the information on that, man, I had ended up going back home and talking to one of my buddies, and he told me that, you know, that a Kia Heron at the time was 120,000 back then. And he was like, yo, you lucky if you could find a key that could take like a 5 right now. He said, but you know, I'm getting 3 of them, and I'm paying like 90 a piece for them. So I was like, man. So when my man told me he gonna give them to me for 45,000 and they could take an 11, now numbers is going in my head. So I'm like, yo, I could get you one that could take a 11. He said, man, you bring a key out here that could take an 11 right now, and I give you 100,000 for it. So I calls my man up that I had to meet and was like, yo, I need one. And this is how it all started. He said, it don't work like that. But take this address down. You go over to West Philly, because you know we only live across the bridge from Philly, 5 minutes from us. He said, you go to this address, they're going to be waiting for you. And, when you get there, they're going to give you some. So I go over there, man, and they gave me 30 keys. You know what I'm saying?
Did you have to give them money at first?
I ain't had to give them nothing. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And this is crazy because all I ever did was had this one sit down with the dude. What happened, I used to frequent his store. He had a store in the mall, South DeKalb Mall over in Decatur. And I used to go in and out of his store. So he knew I was a hustler. You know what I'm saying? Because at this time it was pages and cell phones. And I got 3-4 pages, 3-4 flip phones. I'm in the store. He like, yo, like, me and you, we got to talk. But anyway, I get over there and I get the 30 bricks, and I get back with them. So I gets back with my buddy, you know what I'm saying? And he like, I said, heck, go to one, man, give me the 100,000. He said, hold on, I gotta see what it take. You know what I'm saying? So he take it in the crib, and they doing what they do at the top of our block. And he like, I thought he came out. I thought you told me it could take an 11, but now I'm like, I got 30 of these pieces. I said, it can. That's what he told me. He was like, man, this thing on a 15 and it's still gunpowder. So that was like even better, which I didn't even know. Like, I don't know nothing about this stuff. I'm learning about this as we going right now at this time.
Yeah.
So, like, yo, man, how many of these things can you get? Now, I'm from the street, so I'm like, you know, all I gotta do is make a call. I'm never gonna tell them I got 30 pieces. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I said, all I gotta do is make a call. I can get as many as me. So he started calling all the notable dudes in our city, not to say their names. You know what I'm saying? People from my city know exactly who these people are, you know what I'm saying, that was in this game at the time. So he started calling them, they putting in an order for 10, 20, 5, and I knocked 30 off in 2 days, right? And not only that, I ended up having to go back over and get 20 more that same day. So that was like 50 in 2 days.
So you're paying them the money right back when you go back?
Yeah, when I went over, I took them, you know what I mean, what I owed them. It was 45 a piece, you know what I mean, for them all. And I don't know nothing at the time, so I'm selling them raw like that. I'm selling them at this time for 80 bands. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to double the money. But it's cool to me because they going for 120. In my head, in my city, it's always been about the quick flip. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I'm getting rid of them. I'm cool. So, you know, time go, you know, I took care of that. Time goes by, you know, and I ends up getting back with my man because now I want to start up a little flow on my block because we got the coke out there, but we don't got no Heron out there. So I want to start up a little flow. So I goes to him and you know, I make a deal with him like, yo, let's go half. I kind of told him a lie. I said, yo, I'm getting them for like 80. You know what I'm saying? Let's take the 80 out and then break down the middle. So I'm already making double off of it. You know what I'm saying? And we started a stamp called Freddy Cougar together. And we had Pokemon. We had Freddy Cougar, then we went to Pokemon together. And it was lucrative for me because I'm like one of the only ones of my color that's moving this in my city. You know what I'm saying? So like it kind of like my name blew up. And
have you had anyone approach you trying to tax you for while you're doing this?
Well, I ain't gonna play like I'm this big bad gangster, this, that, but I ain't never had no real problems like that. I ain't never been robbed, and I ain't because I don't be doing no whole lot of playing either. Like in my city, you got dudes that get money and they be soft, and you got dudes that get money and they don't go for nothing and they gonna put you down. You know what I'm saying? Like in before I ever got money, I was playing with that gun. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people already know that. Like, bro ain't going for nothing. You know what I mean? Not only that, we had our block is like a strong team. We had a real strong team on our block. You know what I'm saying? Like they know it's all the block. I ain't gonna take nothing from nobody in our city because that city is crazy. But you know, you're gonna lose your life out there. Ain't nobody really trying to die. You know what I'm saying? We coming. You know
no associates getting robbed or anything like that.
I ain't had that problem. You know what I'm saying? Like all praise to God. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had that problem. You know what I mean? And back then it was real more about everybody was more about getting money. It ain't like it is like when I was away hearing about how, you know, things changed, the murder game, the kids killing it. It wasn't like that. Like people got killed, it was for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody was dying back then, it was for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like now they killing over girls, they killing over he say, she say, they killing just because. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like that. We was more about getting the money. Like these little young boys out here ain't even about no money. And they not even touching no money. And this is one thing that I always say, like, y'all out here putting people down. When you go to jail, you ain't even got commissary money, let alone commissary. You can't even bail yourself out or get a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't doing nothing out here. You just squeezing the trigger. You know what I'm saying? But senseless murders, man, you know, but it wasn't really like that when I was coming up. You know what I mean? It was more about making a connection and getting some money. Now you got these rappers run off on the plug, get high off of this. On my block, you wasn't allowed to smoke weed. Like all we was allowed, like a lot of people come from my block as drinkers. Like, cause our big homies, if they caught you smoking weed, you was considered like a fiend. Like you wasn't getting no work. So a lot around my way, a lot of people don't get high. You know what I'm saying? So we was more into getting money. We was groomed a little different, and that's the problem with the streets today. A lot of the old heads, myself, like I'm an old head now, like I wasn't out here, and a lot of us are dead and in prison doing long terms. Like, so we didn't get to groom these youth. They came up on their own off and let these rappers raise them with these lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, I ended up, I had a 17-month run with them folks, man, with this Heron.
Did you make a lot of money? Or are you stacking the money up?
I made a whole bunch of money, man. I made a whole bunch of money. I was telling my wife at the height of the whole situation, which I didn't even know we was under investigation, I had a whole bunch of money. I don't even want to say what it was, but when they came in my house and locked me up, I got caught with $760,000 in cash. So this is what they do with the feds. What I want all you dudes out there to know, that you think on you nickel slick, you ain't talking on the phone. I'm on the wiretap, but I'm not on there talking about no drugs. And the DEA agent said, man, they're gonna give you life, man, because of your prior convictions, because you're gonna get charged as a career offender if you got 2 drug charges or 2 crimes of violence, which a federal charge, or a crime of violence and a drug charge, which a federal charge. You charge as a career offender, which will double or triple your time. You feel me? So he said, man, you're gonna get life, and we don't even really want you. We don't even got you on really no wiretaps. All you got caught with the money. They basically want you to tell something, which I don't know how to do. So I'm like, man, listen, I ain't did nothing, but you know, I got careered out on an 846. That's a conspiracy case, and the 841 is the possession of the narcotic. And I got 360 months, man. So what happens is the feds got something called relevant conduct. I don't have no control buys on my case. I didn't get caught with any drugs in my house, but I got caught with the $760,000. So with the relevant conduct is conduct which is relevant to the case. So they took the $760,000 and turned it into 5 keys or more heroin, because it's a heroin conspiracy, and charged me with 5 keys or more heroin with no dope. When I came in, there was something called ghost dope. That's the case I got, a ghost dope case. So getting quote, they said the money was equivalent to this amount of drugs, and that's what was attributed to me, 5 keys or more. And that's how my 360 months came into play. So you think you out there shaking and moving, you slickest thing since oil, you doing it this way, they don't know nothing about you, you ain't got nothing in the crib, they don't need nothing in the crib, because the feds go off of hearsay. They can have a dude say, listen, I was buying, we could say something small. He said, I was buying an ounce from him, and the feds say, how many times a week was you buying an ounce? 2 times a week. For how long? For a year. They're going to add the 2 ounces a week up for a year, and that's going to be your drug week off of hearsay. You feel me? And you're going to get a life sentence behind it. You feel me? So the game, man, it's not like it used to be. Like the game really is over. Like especially today, there ain't even no money in the streets really no more. Like my ear is to the street. I got people that's, you know what I mean, still around, and I still hear things, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, like, it's not even worth to risk your life and freedom out there for what's going on out there today, because it ain't no money out there. I mean, in our time, like I said, me and my co-defendant, we started the block up, and people know how Heron Block is on. Like that thing was doing 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a day in nickels.
They're lined up around the corner, right?
Early in the morning, that first rush, man, that line, man, when we open up, that line be 2 blocks long, man. Like, you know, and then all through the day, they coming from everywhere, all the little outskirts of the city, the little other little towns, people coming in from, it was crazy, you know what I'm saying? But the money ain't like that no more, you know what I'm saying? But that's how it was when I was out there, you know what I mean? Which I thought was worth me taking a chance at throwing that rock at that glass house. I always say I wouldn't change nothing that I did in my life, because everything I did and all the time that I did and things that I went through made me who I am today, and able to talk about these things, and a person that you're talking to receiving your message because they know that it's real. Because when I was coming up, we had people to talk to us, but we used to be like, man, he talking from a book, man. He don't come from where we come from. That's one thing about these youth read you. They know when you real and when you ain't. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up catching the case. I ended up getting locked up with 33 people. You know what I'm saying? I got 32 co-conspirators and me. We made 33. I was the baby on the case because I was 24 at the time, but I did the most time on the case too. I had 30 years. I did 24. I did 20 years and 8 months. I got out 4 years early. You know what I'm saying? Which I was supposed to do 25, but the Johnson case fell. So while I was in, I became a certified paralegal. I didn't waste my time. I did 8 years of correspondence course through the Indiana University of Law. So I took up criminal, I got an A and BA in criminal justice, but I specialize in federal law because I was in the feds. So I got helped a lot of notable people get out of jail, and it took me 20 years to get myself out off of an argument that came down through the Supreme Court called Johnson that I had been arguing for years, 17, 18 straight years. I've been arguing the same thing. They let me in on it, even though it was an armed career criminal case. But the elements that they spoke on that you had to meet to make this armed career criminal, I brought those same elements up in my argument, saying you had to meet them to be a career offender. So they let me out on immediate release, and then they closed the door so no other career offenders could come out behind me, which was a shame too.
So whoever else with that same charge is stuck there.
With them same elements of the case, they ended up being stuck, man. But that's the way the feds play. They play a dirty game, you know what I'm saying? But we ended up getting indicted. I went through all that, man. I ended up catching the time, and I started my time at a prison called a USP Terror Hut, which at this time was one of the worst federal prisons that you want to be in. They used to call it the death house. One reason why is because death row is housed there. You know what I'm saying? And D block, death row is on D block. And I was on E block right next door to death row. But another reason why is because it's gangland. You know, that's the Midwest, that's Indiana. And all of the gangs from Chicago and all them
Little Rock, all
that's there, you know what I'm saying? Because that's their region. So I met a lot of I learned a lot about gang life there, right? Because home we didn't have gangs like Bloods and Crips. That stuff really came while I was in the feds, the beginning of my fed bid, because somebody from Cali had came and was doing time in Jersey and started the blood thing up and introduced it to our state. And then now it's big, but
it's huge.
We didn't have Bloods and Crips. We didn't have no gangs. I mean, we represented our blocks and projects where, you know, in Jersey where we was from, but we ain't never Blood, Crip, Gangsta Cycle, all that. We never had that. So I learned about the culture of that in Terror Hut while I was down there, because I learned that these gangs, their grandparents, parents, as well as themselves, been in these gangs. This is a culture, which was I think they say it started out as being like a movement, like the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Like empowerment to empower the neighborhood, people of the neighborhoods. And then, you know, I guess they got to beefing with each other, how that started. I don't really remember all of that or know, because I'm not from there. But I met a lot of big head of those gangs that was there. You know, Latin Kings, Latin Cobras, and Vice Lords, and all different sects of that, and GDs. Like it was like I had learned a lot there, man, and gained a different respect for the gang, because I seen that it was a lifestyle for them. They wasn't just joining it to be a part of something. This thing was generations. You know what I mean? Of families being in that. But yeah, I started in Terror Hut, and I was a young guy. And you know, just like any prison, man, you know, this is one thing men got to know, women too. You ain't gonna go to no hard institution, man, and with that mask on, like whatever you kind of mask you got on out here in these streets. You running around, you busting your gun, and there ain't no gun. It's knives, big ones, small ones. It's gasoline. You know, somebody might throw some of that on you in your cell and light you.